Good morning. I love Youth Sunday. I love it so much. It's almost like Christmas for youth staff. Well, maybe I wouldn't go that far, but so if you haven't figured it out yet, our theme this morning is on service. Philippians chapter 2 holds a very special place in my heart because when I was in youth group, we would go on week-long mission trips during the summer, and we would be out on the work site, and we'd have 30-minute lunch breaks, just like on our ASP mission trips. And it was during those half-hour lunch breaks that my youth minister required us to all take a silent lunch and work on memorizing scripture. My junior year, we memorized Philippians chapter 2. At the time, I hated these silent lunches. But now that I'm a youth minister, it all sounds pretty good. I think that my youth minister was onto something. Use this mic. Is that okay? Switch. Is this working? Okay, great. Thank you. So I can't still recite this chapter from memory, unfortunately, but I can tell you that it has been an anchor in my faith, and it has, as I've grown and had different experiences, it has meant so much to me along the way. The church where I grew up was really great at teaching us the value of service, and they provided me with many opportunities to witness the impact of serving. I'm so grateful for those experiences, as I have seen how they still impact me to this day. A lot of good came out of those service opportunities when I was in youth group. However, if I'm honest with all of you, when I did these service projects, I always came out of them with a superior attitude. I wasn't self-aware enough to realize it at the time, but I would go on those trips believing I had the answers for the people or community that we were serving. I knew what was needed to fix others. And the answer was always Jesus, or at least my image of Jesus. I became very self-righteous and judgmental because clearly I was living my Christian life the right way, and I was ready to help fix anybody that got in my path. Just ask my husband, he was around for those days. I think that I really missed the point when people told me to show Christ to the world. But I'll come back to that. If we look at Paul's letter to the Philippians in its entirety, we will find Paul telling them to take care of one another, to value others, to serve. In Philippians 2, Paul is saying, "Follow me as I follow Christ." St. Meinrad's is a monastery in southern Indiana, and they follow the rule of St. Benedict. I've never been, but my husband has been. And hospitality is a core practice of all of the monks that live there. Hundreds of people throughout the year visit the monastery to deepen their worship. One monastic rule that is practiced by the monks is that all people visiting the monastery must be treated as if they were Christ himself. To put it simply, they believe and they practice that in every person they encounter, they are hosting Jesus. What if I had understood this when I was in high school? Instead of treating people as though I had all the answers, what if I had treated each person with dignity and respect and value and listened to what they had to offer? What if instead of talking and having all the answers, I had just listened? What if I had gone into every situation asking myself, what can I learn from the people in this community? In more recent years, I've been learning the gift of listening. My husband's really good at listening. Me, on the other hand, I grew up as the youngest child, the youngest of three, and you had to just be louder than the person next to you to be heard. So I only know how to talk loud and talk over and it's just kind of a nightmare. Ask Michael about that too, because he comes to our family get-togethers. So to say it nicely, listening has not come easy to me. But what I'm learning is that when I listen, I gain so much more. To learn about people's experiences, cultures, ideas, values, it's taught me so much about God. When I meet someone different than me and I listen to their stories, I learn so much more about the God who created all of humanity. The safe, small box that I keep God in has expanded every time I stop and listen to someone else. Now, what I love about our students is that we get to see glimpses of what Paul is talking about in this letter when he says, look not to your own interests, but also to the interests of others. I've watched our youth take care of one another. I've watched them go into cultures different from their own and listen and learn and ask questions. I've watched them put each other's needs before their own. I could tell you countless stories about our youth in just the 1 year that I've been here, but instead, I'm going to have you hear from them. I'm going to ask 3 of our seniors to come up and share how serving has impacted their lives.
Hello. Oh, okay, it's on. All right. Hi, my name's Mac. You probably recognize me from up there. I play the guitar. But anyway, so I've been lucky enough to go on 2 of the ASP mission trips that Caitlin was recently talking about, and I've learned quite a lot from them. One of them, on our first one, I was going in ready to work. I wasn't expecting to be working with the people a lot. I was just expecting to do the job for the week and then go home. But then we got assigned to an old man named Don who we needed to paint his house because he couldn't physically do it. So what we ended up doing was we were just painting one day, and I was up on a ladder, and I was painting right in front of a window. So the ladder was right in front of the window. I was right in front of it painting, and I look in the window, and I just see Don just painting, doing this motion with his hand as well. It scared me so much I almost fell off the ladder. But that was the first day, and throughout the rest of the half week, because it flooded and we had to leave. Throughout the rest of that week, though, I got to sit down and talk with Don and actually learn that the people we're working with are people. They needed our help and they wanted it, and they were also there to talk, and Don had great stories, and it was a lot of fun to talk to. My second year was 2 years after that, and we had gone back to Raynell, the same town, and it was more of just meaningless yard work to me. It didn't feel all exciting. It was picking up trash and spreading mulch. But some of our leaders, Doug Miller, Steve Crossway, and Neil Francisco, were always there, and they were always energetic, and they were always willing to work hard. And what I got out of it was, even though the task is stupid and meaningless, or I thought it was, you still got to have a good work ethic about it. And so that's just my stories. I'm going to pass the mic to Blake.
Hi, I'm Blake, for those of you that haven't met me. And I also went on the Raynell mission trips. I went on 3 of them, which is one more than Max. And so I'm sure plenty of you have heard that the first time we went over there, it flooded a few days in, and it pretty much destroyed the town. And so then when we came back, we raised money to help rebuild the town, and it was kind of a big deal then, and still kind of is a big deal. But then that second year we went back to Raynell, and there was when you went back, there was just already visible improvement from when the flood first happened. It wasn't completely better, but people could still live their lives and move on about their day without having to go to a church for food because their whole kitchen was just washed away. And so, so that second year we actually helped build like the beginnings of a house that we helped pay for. And then the third year when we went back, we actually went and put the finishing touches on a house for a family to move in. And so to me, that kind of felt like I had, over that course of 3 years, I kind of developed a personal connection with Raynell. And so it just felt like we had kind of done a lot to help the town recover. We'd done pretty much everything we could because, as Max said, that last year we did a lot more like yard work stuff, which was still, helpful. It wasn't like building a house helpful. And so yeah, what all that really taught me is that like God will be with you even in hard times or good times, and He'll help you get through hard stuff. But you also have to work and put forth effort to actually improve things. You can't just expect someone to do it all for you, or expect yourself to fix the whole thing either. People will help you, but you have to help them too. So that's all.
Hi, I'm Lindsay, and I've been on 3 ASP mission trips to Raynell. I have learned so much over the past 3 summers. I've learned about myself, about my faith, and I've also learned a ton about the people who I got to serve with. Because at the beginning of the week each year, the group is different. There's different people, different dynamics and everything, and you're not really that close, but by the end of the week, you get pretty close because you're spending almost a week straight with them. So let's face it, you learn a lot about them. And so I think that the trips that we go on give us special opportunities to get close because the work we're doing is not easy. Because especially for me, I don't know what I'm doing, so I have to ask questions and get the knowledge from the leaders, and they help me. And then I can't carry all the big boards by myself, so everybody comes and helps. So you have to rely on your team and to get the job done. Also, you're pushed outside of your comfort zone, which I think that we learn a lot about ourselves when we're outside of our comfort zones. So it helps to bring the group closer together. And then finally, every night, we gather around in a group and we talk about the day. We talk about our highs of the day, our lows of the day, and our God moments. And we may all be on the same work site. We may be doing the same things, but everybody gets something a little different from the day. They notice little moments that maybe didn't even cross your mind. And so you really get to know each other. And I'm so blessed and so thankful that I've been able to go on these trips because they really have given me some of the best relationships I have. Between my friends in the youth group and then the chaperones that go that now are mentors in my life. So I'm just very thankful.
Thank you so much to Mac and Blake and Lindsay for sharing some of their experiences. As we look ahead to our week, let's ask ourselves, in what ways can we serve others? How can we treat each other with the same dignity and respect that we would hold to Jesus? The world might be a more loving place if we served each other with no motive other than to host Jesus in each person that we meet. So as you can tell, service is very important to our youth group. And now we're going to watch a quick video from that some of our youth made to just tell you other ways that our youth, the other ways that they love to get involved on the youth floor. I'm Caitlin King. I'm one of the youth ministers here at Muncie. If you've never been to Muncie Youth before, we would love to have you. We have grades 7th through 12th up on the 3rd floor, and now we're going to have you hear from some of our youth on why they love being part of Muncie, and we hope that you'll join us.
I like being part of Muncie Youth because it feels kind of like an extended family. Everyone cares for everyone else truly wholeheartedly, and they're willing to help other people's problems even when it's not convenient for them.
I love being part of Muncie Youth because the loving staff that's all around us and supports us in what we do, and the people around us who go to this church who make me and other people feel safe.
What I love about Muncie Youth is probably the friendships and the bonds I get to make with people, whether we're on trips or just at church on a regular Sunday night. I'm always with people, my friends, and I get to talk to them, and it just helps me make good friendships and bonds. If you haven't gotten a chance to visit our youth floor or come to any of our youth events, come meet us up on the 3rd floor. We'll introduce you to some of our students and our amazing youth staff, and we'd love to have you because there's always a place for you at Muncie.
3rd floor. We have cheese balls always. I would definitely say if you're not involved with Muncie Youth, definitely get involved. One of my favorite things is probably just serving, like going over to John Sevier and all of our mission trips. Like, I've learned so much from them.
I really love doing ice cream Olympics and life groups. What I love about life groups is that you're just there with a strong person to support you, and you can talk about whatever you want.
Come! Come to Muncie. Please, it's so much fun.